So here we are in phase 2 of the egg freezing journey, blood tests and scans. I got my blood work done. With that came all of these tests, along with a urine sample for STD screening. And my PAP, I actually submitted to them because it was less than 3 years old. And I did not have to do another test for my AMH and my FSH because I still had the results from the clinic that I went to just a couple months ago. So they were able to use those. Now, I'm about to be very honest with you guys because I didn't see anywhere on the internet that had this level of honesty. And I personally was looking for it. So I hope if you're looking for it, you can find it in me. Like, look, here's my uterus. But seriously, we need to go over what these fertility ultrasounds will be showing, because every single visit you get an ultrasound, and I like to go in my portal and check to see what the heck is going on. And I ask questions. So I need you guys to be able to interpret and know what my ultrasounds look like. So just a quick fertility ultrasound 101. Most of us are used to the ultrasound that looks like this. It's the sac with the baby on the inside. That is your uterus. But the ultrasounds that we will be looking for, well, there'll be your uterus too, but there won't be a baby there. But the ultrasounds that we'll be looking at are ultrasounds of your ovaries. So I showed you in my last video, this is an ultrasound of an ovary. Within the ovary are multiple follicles. Follicles are the houses for your eggs. So you guys know how fertility, ovulation, menstruation works, right? When you ovulate, one egg, but really one follicle that contains the egg, drops into your uterus. If you don't get pregnant, right, the lining falls, blah, blah, blah. But what you may not know is that there are multiple follicles in there with multiple eggs, but typically only one falls. So it's typically the largest one there. So if we look at this scan, we see that there are multiple follicles there, which contain one egg each. And the biggest one right there is likely the one that's going to ovulate. So let's review my scans from my initial visit. So in every visit, they're going to check your uterus and check your left and your right ovary to see how many follicles. They check your uterus because they're checking the thickness of your uterine lining. So remember the picture of the baby. This is actually it without the baby, right? There's no black space in between because the uterus is closed up because there's no little baby in there. It's important to make sure that the woman's uterine lining is changing within each of the phases of the menstruation cycle. You want to make sure that there is a nice little thick lining there, especially during ovulation, and to house and hold your baby. Or if you're getting embryo transfer, you need it to stick to that wall. So that's one of the things. Also, I want to point out these little yellow numbers that you see. If you look really closely, you'll see a line and it'll say 1 or 2 or 3. That is the point that they are measuring. So they're literally putting a dot up top, then putting a dot down below, and they're saying, oh, that's 1. And then you look on the lower right, and that is the length in millimeters of the area they're measuring. So make sure you pay attention to the number of the line and the location and the millimeters. Next up, they go to your ovaries, your right, which is RT, your left, which is LT, and they count up your baseline follicles. So my right has 8, my left has 6. That is a slight decline to where I had 10 and 10 on each side. So that made me do some thinking of like, damn, are they going down? And I did all these calculations, but that's not true. Every cycle can be different. So who knows? But now you guys know how to read these ultrasounds. I will be dropping them when we come back in August/October.
I want my eggs cracked.